Good afternoon, dear Mr. Rinaldi. You're welcome to Kazakhstan, and I would like to ask you some couple of questions about our actual topic. In what ways have recent global events such as economic crisis or demographic shifts influenced the development of new pension fund regulations?
Yeah, well, actually, as you know, the last few years were very rich of happenings. Not very easy to manage on different sides and dimensions. Probably the pandemic was the one that had most impact on the life of everybody. Pensions are a long-term program for the societies. So what is important is to be resilient to happenings in the short term. So the main thing that regulators wanted to achieve was that despite problems, serious problems that we had to deal with, the long-term programs and objectives that are for linked to long-term developments such as the aging of populations, demography that is going in a very clear way in the direction that we will have a proportion of old people that much larger than the young in a number of countries. All those programs still are on track, still are in the priorities of policymakers. And I would say that this long-term objective was challenged somehow in terms of attention, but at the end, I would say that we still are on track. In most countries, investment for the pensions did not diminish significantly, and so the impact actually there was an impact, but I don't think that it was really critical in terms of putting in danger these long-term objectives. And one representation of this is that just 1 year or two out of the pandemics, we have this kind of events. We are planning for the future again. We had some withdrawals from pension schemes, but we have to think about that. The very fact that there was some money put aside for pensions, but that was used for a very important reason in the short term, represents somehow a positive side also of accumulating savings for pensions that in very special circumstances can be also used for different purposes.
Okay. What are the International Organization Pension Supervisors, shortly we call it IOPS, latest initiatives and their standards aimed at regulating and supervising pension funds globally?
Yeah, well, actually, this is what you mentioned is the core of our activity. What we do is discussing how in different countries we deal with design, regulation, and supervision of pension schemes. And we compare things, we try to identify good practices, and we participate to this event just for that purpose. Actually, we are very interested in making the dialogue and the cooperation with Central Asia more intense. Kazakhstan is member of our organization, IOPS. So we are very happy for that, but we are here also to install dialogue with other countries. We know that the reforms that have been put in place in Kazakhstan actually do make sense. they are somehow on a track that is similar to the one that we have in a number of other countries. Some adjustment can be made, and we are here to just discuss this and to contribute to positive solutions.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Can you share some success stories, some bright examples or case studies where countries have effectively implemented IOP standards, resulting to improved pension fund outcomes?
Yeah, I was mentioning before that I participated to the session on investment strategies. And one thing that is receiving more and more consensus internationally is to think about investment strategies that can follow the so-called life cycle approach. That means that because pensions are a long-term project, there is room to having an evolution on how investment should be made, because it is a kind of natural that when you are young, you have more time to wait before you retire, and so your investment can be really long-term, and usually long-term oriented investments are more can have higher returns because we call that the pension funds are the so-called patient investors. You can afford to have the patient to stay in valuable investment, even if you have some short-term volatility. But what is important is that in the long term you get higher returns. So the solutions that go for life cycle, that go for the so-called target date funds, that put money for 20, 30 years and manage the money in a way that is consistent with that long-term horizon, are more and more believed as the best way to manage pension money for pensions. So that is one issue, and it's very much connected with what Kazakhstan is considering in terms of offering choice to members. So choice is not only regarding the provider, but is also regarding the investment strategy. And choice should actually be helped by default solutions that are offered to people, because it is very difficult for ordinary people to understand what is the best for them. But so it is good to offer some solution by default, that people that do not really want to engage can just go for that in a kind of simple way. But on the other hand, it's also good to offer choice for people that really want to be engaged. They have specific desires, so they do not feel obliged to follow something that is the same for everybody. So this kind of default solution with an opt-out for the individual are the best things that are becoming somehow the consensus for in many countries.
What strategies are in place to ensure ongoing dialogue and knowledge sharing among member countries and stakeholders regarding pension fund regulation and supervising?
Well, one thing that I was mentioning before is that probably what we are learning from past experiences is that extreme solutions are not the good ones. Just to make an example, something that organizes pensions from 100% from the side of capital markets, so some fully funded programs completely oriented to investment in capital market with no solidarity pillar. That is not going to work, because you have to consider both sides of pensions are at the same time something that has to be managed with capital market instruments, but also has a solidarity issue to be dealt with. So balanced solutions that have both a capital market component, but also a public component that takes care of solidarity of the poor, of people who are not so successful in their life. It is needed, because otherwise you don't get political sustainability, and social sustainability is also very, very important. So some kind of mixed solution, that is the best I would suggest.